Burning Rubber is social. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Burning Rubber Radio. Now back to more Burning Rubber.
And we are, wow, it's weird to still say we're back.
Really kind of not back, man. We've been on hiatus for a while, but I guess you can say we're back and we're in a new format here, being our social medias and all this stuff, Wayne.
Yeah, podcasting, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the new generation stuff. We're no longer dinosaurs.
Hey, speak for yourself.
I mean, I wasn't gonna call you and Andy out directly, but
Come on, I resemble that remark.
Yeah, that's true. Me too. I'm not far behind you, John. Well, no, man, we got a heck of a guest for everyone out there. We wanted to do a sit down here on Burning Rubber Radio with the winner of the South Carolina 400. Wayne, are you ready for this?
I am, and because there was a lot of iconic moments from this past weekend South Carolina 400, including the number 8 Bud car that made its return. And, God, I was so excited for that. But I'm even more excited for this guy here because, Andy, you know this gentleman all too well from your days in the Bobby D. Earnhardt's Legacy Esports, and great sim racer, great real racer. He's been a Pinty Series champion, South Carolina 400 champion. So much stuff that's going on with this guy, Treyton Lapcevich. Treyton, welcome back to the show, brother.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Most definitely. So I have to ask first and foremost, because, we mentioned the iconic moments that were this past weekend at the South Carolina 400 at Florence Motor Speedway in Florence, South Carolina. What were your thoughts seeing history reborn with Dale Jr.'s Bud car coming back?
It was pretty cool. The whole atmosphere surrounding it. I think the grandstand side was sold out before we even started qualifying. So,
Holy Moses!
It's really cool the whole thing. Big thanks to Dale Jr. He doesn't have to come out and race with us, but I think he enjoys it, and it brings a lot of attention to us and the whole grassroots racing stuff. No, really cool atmosphere. Like I said, the place was packed, and you could feel it, like when you kind of inside the car, even driving under green flag, you could feel it when Dale was making ground because the whole place would light up.
Well, hey, that's classic Dale Jr., right? Same thing happened at North Wilkesboro a couple of years ago when he had the Sundrop car. So I guess what do you expect? History will repeat itself in good ways, especially when it comes to motorsports here. But as far as you go, my friend, again, we detailed your career, everything from your esports career with iRacing and Bobby Dale Earnhardt's Legacy Esports, all the way up into your stuff with the Pinty Series, and then, of course, now the South Carolina 400. What, in your opinion, what does it feel like winning such an iconic race?
Yeah, it's pretty surreal, honestly. We kind of knew after winning the Pinty's Championship last year that we had to get down south to really, make a movement in the sport and keep climbing towards the top. This year's been a whole lot of learning with the late model stock cars, and then, of course, this past weekend, you kind of just felt how important that race was to everyone just walking in through the gate. Chad and the whole Chad Bryant Racing team, that race means a ton to them. They won it twice before with Ty. So I knew how important that race was to everyone, and it's pretty wild to win such a big race in late model stock world. I think that's got to be the only race in the world where you get your own tree planted for you following the race. That's always going to be there. So definitely pretty cool.
Now, what's funny is I actually did not know that part of the South Carolina 400. I did not know that they planted a tree for the winner. That actually makes it even more unique to know that you have something like that in your honor at Florence Motor Speedway now.
Yeah, I guess ever since it moved to Florence Motor Speedway from Myrtle Beach Speedway there, they plant a palm tree just outside the pit gate. So I believe that was the fifth running of it or fourth running of it. So now there's 4 or 5 trees out there.
Very cool. And so you've got one. Ty Majeski has 2, and So obviously moving forward here, like some of the next big plans that you've got going on aside from the South Carolina 400, you've got the Snowball Derby coming up here in just a short amount of time, actually, like a few weeks away.
Yeah, super excited to get to Pensacola, Florida. We're headed down there this Thursday because we're going to be testing this weekend. So we're gonna be down there this weekend, then we'll stay up until the race next weekend, of course. So gonna feel really good about that. Last year we went there with our family team for my first shot at the Snowball Derby, and we ran pretty well. Was able to make some notes and made a good notebook following that race. So super excited to get back there and build on that. Last year we built the entire car in about 3 weeks prior to the race, so it's kind of nice this year. We're a little bit ahead of schedule and able to focus on making the car faster and just build on the notebook that we've got.
And now, are you going to be running with the same team that you ran with in the South Carolina 400, or is it going back to the family team this year?
Yeah, it's gonna be my family team again this year. So like I said, it's definitely excited to do that with my family. I think it's really cool when you bring the little team out of Canada and go up to run the big Snowball Derby.
Now I have to ask, all jokes aside here. I mean, we're gonna laugh about this one for a moment anyway. Do you prefer the warmth of the South, or has the cold been kind of more preferable here of late?
Well, you know what? It's kind of funny because these races kind of getting later into the season in North Carolina, right when the sun goes down, it's cold, and it feels colder than it does back in Canada.
Really?
I'm from Southern Ontario, so like we haven't even got snow yet here. It's cold. Don't get me wrong, we're pushing zero, but it's a different type of cold in the States, I've noticed for sure, and I think it's because you're so close to the water, so there's more humidity, and it's just like it's a wetter cold. So I've been telling people that even this past weekend in Florence, it was freezing there, and the cold just feels a whole lot more unbearable there than it does in Ontario here.
Oh, you know what? I find that interesting. And by the way, folks, when he says 0 degrees Celsius, whereas down here in the States, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So, Andy, that way Andy's brain doesn't... What?
Thank you. Hey, one thing, Treyton, we're going to be is the NASCAR chef here sitting next to me. He's going to be at the Snowball Derby. And, of course, our NASCAR chef, John Dix here, he was the cook, or one of the cooks for the now defunct Stuart Haas team. Maybe you guys can get together and he can cook up some of his, what are those ground chuck burgers you do, John?
Yeah, maybe we can do that. We'll come down and hang out with you, Treyton.
All right, that sounds good. We're our menu at the racetrack is usually limited to cheeseburgers and sometimes walking tacos if we're lucky.
Okay, well, John, in that case, then you're going to have to bring some steaks.
Yeah, we'll do something. Treyton, you said you're going to be down there this Thursday. Are you going to be there just Thursday, or what days you're going to be there?
Yeah, well, we're driving down Thursday, so we're going to be there. We'll be there Saturday and Sunday at the track.
Okay, all right. I live an hour and a half north of there, so maybe I can try to, squeeze down there and say hi to you.
Awesome, sounds good.
Yep, squeeze a steak or two in there, and so the question is, if he's able to bring steaks, Treyton, what is the family like? Do you go ribeyes? Do you go New York strip? What do you usually go for?
I think we're usually ribeyes.
Okay.
We don't do steak often, but I would say it's normally ribeyes.
And John and Burning Rubber Radio, we're on a rump roast budget here.
What do you mean? We're on sirloin. Rump roast is too expensive.
Okay, sirloin then. That'll work too.
like literally the cans of soup that the sirloin burger. It's like
sirloin burgers. Those cans.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord. So anyway.
Some people call it spam, but it is.
Right. Anyway, Trey, what you got lined up for the 2025 season coming up?
Not quite sure just yet. I'm pretty positive that I'm gonna be racing full time in the States once again. So
nice.
Have that to say right now, but overall still kind of fine tuning things and hoping that we can announce that in the coming weeks.
Great. I hope so. Or I know you can't announce anything, but when you, of course, are running the late models and everything. The Cars Tour this year is going to be huge with everyone who's behind the scenes in it. Dale Jr., Kevin Harvick, and everyone like that. But are you also maybe eyeballing, since you did run a NASCAR major series, the Pinty series, and you're a past champion, maybe Truck Series, Xfinity Series, possibly, hopefully in your future?
Yeah, that's the goal for sure in the future. That's why we came down here, was to try and make a run at the top 3 series. So the Cars Tour was definitely a really good step for us. Like you mentioned, the ownership group there is it's huge for visibility, and then all the races are on Flow Racing, and the tracks are always packed for the Cars Tour events. So definitely a lot of value in late model stock racing, and specifically the Cars Tour. We felt like that was a really good move for us. Really thankful to have great partners that made that happen. Eviram and the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship have been behind me this year. So it was pretty much a first dip in the States for all of us. So it was definitely a successful first year, and just hoping to build on that.
Well, that, and realistically too, I mean, like you say, Treyton, and I've seen it before myself going to Cars Tour events. The fan base is a lot stronger with the short track Saturday night than it is with NASCAR here of late. And honestly, it doesn't hurt my feelings to see that one bit, because obviously NASCAR has done what they do, and I know folks like Junior and Harvick can't really comment on it because of other reasons, but from a fan's perspective, myself, Andy, John, we've seen it. The last handful of races this season, I hate to say it, were just not that interesting to attract enough fans.
Yeah, I mean the Cars Tour races, there was a lot of shows this year that would definitely keep a fan on the edge of their seat. So I feel like the racing that the Cars Tour puts on is kind of, it's pretty exciting for sure. So
yeah.
I had a lot of fun driving the series. It was my first time driving late model stocks, of course, but had a lot of fun driving the cars. Sorry, and a lot of cool tracks that they go to as well. A lot of tracks with a lot of character that we don't really have up here in Canada. So really enjoyed going to some of those tracks, and of course you go to some of the bigger venues like North Wilkesboro, where we were able to pick up a win as well. So definitely some cool experiences.
Yeah, North Wilkesboro, Hickory, Florence, obviously Pensacola coming up here in a couple of weeks. Now, we may have asked you this question before, because I know we've had you on the show like many, many moons ago here. But aside from like those iconic tracks, or maybe even something like a Rockingham, what would you say would be your dream track to run on? Whether it be a late model, whether it be doing NASCAR, whatever the case might be.
Well, I would say kind of two categories. I would say for NASCAR, I really want to try Bristol. That's a bucket list one for me.
Okay.
But on the late model side of things, I've always kind of been eyeing up Winchester and Nashville. I would really like to get our super late model there one of these days. Winchester is really fast. I was able to go there and watch when my brother ran the Winchester 400 a couple years ago. So that's what I want to do for sure. And then same thing with Nashville. Was able to go there when my brother was racing, and just looks like a really cool track, a lot of speed. Oh, yeah. So I think it'd be a lot of fun in a super late model.
Yeah, no, the fairgrounds are definitely something fun, and even the super speedway's gotten better over the years too since it's reopened. But all in all, good stuff. We'll trade. With that said, here, my friend, we're about out of time here for the week, but we'd be remiss if we didn't get a big old burning rubber baby from you at the top of your lungs, brother.
Well, thank you guys for having me, and appreciate it. We'll look forward to burn some rubber.
There we go.
That's right, man.
All right. Well,
thank you, Treyton.
Most definitely. And ladies and gentlemen, with that said, that is Treyton Lapcevich, the winner of the South Carolina 400. You heard it exclusively right here on our Facebook, on our YouTube channels. And Treyton, the fun part is you still get to hear all the sounds. Just hung up on us. So it's time for us to go bye-bye as well. And we will see you again soon.